afternoon actually in your place. In my place, it's actually morning. It's around 9 o'clock. It's exactly 9:15 on my time here. But of course, I'm very happy to be invited by the Mariano Marcos State University and of course the organizers. And of course, the other committee as well. So today, I would be speaking about Gen Z shaping a new era of learning. So as a person in L&D, we really need to prepare for the incoming Gen Zs. Though there's already a small percentage of Gen Z people in the organization, in the business, but of course, we're expecting more to come. Well, to share with you, based from study, by 2025, 27%, or approximately 27% of the Gen Z will be part of the workforce. But currently, of course, the biggest number still is the millennial um, generation, which covers around 40% now. But based from study, by 2025, it will reach like 70%. But right now, the number isn't certain yet, but that's what they're forecasting. So I'd like to start with, hold on. Okay, I'd like to start with this. I'd like to define each generation. I'd like to start with the baby boomers, then the Gen Z, the millennials, and the Gen Zs, which will be our focus actually for today's discussion. So as for the baby boomers, they were born 1946 to 1964. So looking at their best traits, they are optimistic, they enjoy mentoring, and they are strong, they have strong work ethics. As for what they want from work or from their career, is a loyal employer. So these people are really loyal. They don't just leave a company. They stay as long as they feel that they are valued in the organization. And also hierarchical culture. And the next one is the chance to mentor others and respect. Since baby boomers are the oldest generation in the organization, they are the people who really nurture and lead the organization. And as for the Gen X, which also still has a big number in the workforce, for their best work traits, they are independent, they are innovative, and they have strong communications. And as for what they want from work, they are a trustworthy employee, they are a problem solving, they're good in problem solving, and they are competent colleagues, and there's uh, autonomy. So here, when you say Gen Zs, these are the people who are really competent. So they really know what they're doing. They are the most experienced ones in the organization. But of course, baby boomers are those too. But who can really help us technically are the Gen Zs. But because normally when you say baby boomers, they are at the top of the line. They are the C-level employees, which gives us directions. But those who really do the technicalities or really planning step by step are the Gen X. And of course, very important, also the millennials, which covers the biggest as of now in the workforce. So the best trait, by the way, just to share, I am a millennial. So I am 31. I'm not ashamed of sharing my age. Okay, that's 31. I just had my birthday last year. I know this year of September. And I am happy to say that I'm 31 and I'm part of the millennial generation. So as for the best traits, our best traits, we are tech savvy. Um, of course, we will not compare ourselves to the Gen Zs because the Gen Zs are the digital fluent. They are the natives of digitalization compared to us. We are those who were born without that much of technology enhancement yet, but we were able to catch up because at a young age, it was introduced to us. That's why we're saying that we are tech savvy and we can easily adapt to this changing environment, especially when you talk about technology or gadgets. And these people also are collaborative. So we are collaborative. So we really enjoy working with other people and working as a team. Another one is focused on the greater good. Um, like what they always say, if you want to hire a millennial, you have to make sure that there is a deeper purpose of doing things. So you don't just say, we work to earn. It's not that. I mean, it's not enough. There should be, we are working to earn, yet there are other things that we want to do, like help out in the community, um, develop one skill. We are into the career development of other people. It's like a long-term goal, which these people would really enjoy doing. And what they normally want from work is number one, an empathic employer. So when you say empathic, someone who's really sincere, a company who's sincere enough to support this millennial generation. Another one is a meaningful work. So, like we say, like what I said a while ago, when you say meaningful work, it's about having deeper purpose in the organization, not just doing work to earn money. Another one is training for new skills, and I often notice this that millennial people, they go to the internet, they attend online training programs, free or sometimes out of their pockets, because they feel like they are of value and it really it makes them happier if they attend training programs. And of course, flexibility. So the millennial people are used to different types of setup in the organization, as they have witnessed so many already. First one is they've experienced an organization that is not that tech savvy, and then later on they transitioned to technology driven organization. So they've experienced both things. While for the Gen Zs, uh, they're really um, they don't call them tech savvy. They're more natives of the digital world. So when it comes to mobile and everything, at a very young age, they're already holding their mobile phones, the laptops, iPads. When I was young, I never experienced this. When I was young, we were most of the time outside, okay, and then we just play with our cousins, playmates, friends, and then our parents would call us at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Like they would shout, Mike, come back home, it's 6 o'clock already, it's time for dinner. And later on, we have to sleep. And then most of the time, we're just on our TVs watching our favorite shows, Dragon Balls, and a lot of stuff. We have to really watch out for the time schedule. While for Gen Zs, everything is available online, and you can do it at your own pace. Let's say you want to watch Dragon Ball, old movies, old animes. You can just search in the internet, and then on your free time, um, on your own pace, you can actually access this. Okay, so that's how Gen Zs are really advanced. Another one, they are practical. Same goes when you say practical, they do things that has value. They don't want to spend time on things that they feel will not have a value. Another one is flourish in diverse workforces. So same goes with millennials. They've experienced different environments. Therefore, these people they enjoy being in diverse workforces, but also to share based from study, the Gen Zs are excited to meet people face to face because the Gen Zs are more often into online. So they communicate normally with their gadgets, with the technology, rather with people. I'm not saying not okay, but most of the time they spend their time on the gadgets, and these people they really wanted to be part of a workforce or a diverse workforce where they can um, what's this? Share their experiences, share thoughts, create good bonds, relationships, and networks with the people. And what they normally look for in an organization based from a few who they've interviewed. So I think right now it's around 6 to 10% of the workforce are under Gen Zs. They are they're looking for a culturally competent employer. When you say culturally competent employer, we mean not only religions. The culture can include religions, but this is more on diversity and inclusivity. So when you say diversity and inclusivity, we welcome everyone of whatever preference, whatever religion, whatever they believe in. So it should be an environment who welcomes everybody. So that's what they're looking for. Another one is a competitive wage or wages or salary. Well, same goes for millennials. Whenever they consider transferring to another organization, they make sure that what I'll be getting is competitive enough when it comes to salary, because it actually drives them also to work. They feel um, that the efforts they put in should have a specific amount too, compared to the other generations we're in. As long as they feel like they're helping the organization, they're totally fine with that. But for millennials and Gen Zs, especially Gen Zs, even though they're new in the organization, they would demand. First thing, they are quite confident of the skills that they have. Okay, though they are Gen Zs and they have not really occupied a big percentage yet in the organization or in the workforce, they know from themselves that they have acquired certain skills that can be definitely helpful for the organization. And most of the trainings they've gotten online. What I'm saying is because it's readily available in the internet, it can easily be um, studied by these people, and the Gen Zs are very much used to the technology, so it's easier for them to get into this kind of learning. Well, even the social media platforms are very helpful in learning. So though these are videos and most of them, are dancing on TikTok, but there are a few, I think, not a few, many now, or a big percentage also, is more on the educational or more on like a training and development category. There's a lot, but most of the time, yeah, the front would actually be on TikTok, right? More dancing, more singing, more like copying someone, impersonating. But yeah, there are also parts that are educational. And of course, you guys are aware of the YouTube university where everyone goes there whenever they need something. Well, honestly, me too, I'm like that because whenever I need help, especially for Excel, although I've attended the training back then and got certified in Excel and the use of this Microsoft Word and all the other applications, but if there's no practice, you'll really forget it later on. So what you need to do is to refresh yourself. And YouTube University is very much helpful, especially when I need to refresh myself with something. Okay, but of course, again, the Gen Zs are so much used to this compared to the millennials. Another one is mentorship. So Gen Zs are the people of the future, and of course, they have goals in life. Like mentioned a while ago, they are the people who wants to work with a purpose or with a deeper purpose. So that is linked to mentorship. So since they have their purpose in life, they have long-term goals, and most of them. This is a good thing, okay? Most of them actually, they want to have a part-time engagement that can help them grow personally and professionally. Another is they also want external engagement or other engagement activities to help out with their finances. And it's a good thing. Why is that? Because in the internet also, you can find a lot of speakers, a lot of consultants, a lot of vloggers, bloggers, okay, and they are inviting or encouraging people to do business. And that's a good thing right now. That's really a good thing. And Gen Zs have immediately adapted to what was being shared online, and it actually shifted their mindset into something really great compared to the rest. So most of the millennials also are like that now. Like they wanted to have an extra income, do their own business. But Gen Zs are like when you ask them, what's your plan in the future? They would always answer like, I have no plans of really staying long in the organization, or if I'll be joining an organization, I should have other activities being done outside work. And that's very nice. So they value very much the work-life balance. So that's for the Gen Zs. And of course, stability. Stability there includes work-life balance as well. So they want a stable income, yes. But again, they're very much aware that there is no uh, was this security of tenure in the organization that they'll be joining. First is they also have experienced the pandemic and they know the great effect of the pandemic, which affected a lot of companies, and actually a lot of companies also closed because of that, and they've experienced that as well. So these people are very smart. Like, yes, though I have my job now, I have to look for other incomes apart from what I'm getting now, or apart from what I'm earning from this full-time job. All right, so moving forward, I'll be summarizing the factors in Gen Zs that are affecting the learning and development. First one is the digitally fluent part, wherein it is defined as Gen Zs are actually digital natives. The use of the gadgets, the use of technology, and they use the internet for day-to-day learning compared to the millennials and others. Like, they only go to the internet for something else, but for the day-to-day learning, Gen Z's, it's really part of their life. Like, whenever they need something, they would go to that. Even translations, they would go to that. Another, accustomed to online distance learning. Well, just to share, distance learning has been with us since 1840s. So this is not anymore new to us, the distance learning, only that distance learning was put into online, which is very nice because it made it even more faster and of course more advanced, definitely, because distance learning way back 1840 is like the exchange of emails, wherein the teacher would send out an assignment through email, and then once the students received the email, they would answer it and send it back to the teacher. That's how it happens. That's a distance learning until it improved and improved and improved. And even universities, they send out manuals or hard copies of the textbooks, workbooks that they have to study on, and then with activities and assignments, and then send them back for assessment and evaluation. That's how it's being done before. But right now, it's so much better because it's real time. Like, we can face each other, though it's online, yeah, but it's still synchronous. Wherein, whenever they have questions, you can immediately answer. That is the good thing about synchronous learning. Okay, and the next one is practical. So when you say practical, based from LinkedIn study, nearly 6 in 10 or 58% of Gen Zs would like to learn a new skill, but don't feel they have the time to do so. So what we're saying here is the Gen Zs are practical, but they also know that they need a certain skill to perform in a specific job, or a skill that will help them get more income, okay, that can actually help them financially. But most of them, let's just say the term busy, they are busy with something and they only have a certain free time. So normally training programs or classroom trainings, it's fixed. They have fixed schedule and you really need to give time for that. So you can't just say I'm available after work. So you can't do that. So you need, normally trainings happen the normal 8 to 5 shift or 9 to 6 schedule. So if you're not available during that time because you have prior commitments or you're employed in an organization, then you really can't attend these trainings. But good thing about online learning, or let's say e-learning platforms, it's readily available. There are videos that are available. So whenever you need to learn, you do it on your free time. It's self-paced. That's the good thing about it. So we'll be able to actually address this part. Another one is 43% of Gen Z preferred a fully self-directed and independent approach to learning. So honestly, the disconnect of the learning people versus the students or the learners, the learning and development leaders would like to create a comprehensive learning material if they want to do it online. Let's say self-paced learning. But the students, on the other hand, would like it to be a little lenient on their part. Like give us the freedom to do the activity, something like that, or give us the freedom to do it on our free time. But on the other hand, the disconnect really is the L&D persons, they really want it to be very much effective, that they become more technical. So right now, L&D people are trying to lean towards not being lenient, no, but more on lessening the technicalities, because it will even make it harder for the students to understand if it's more technical. So they go for more activities, more experiential learning, rather just the manual or the book theoretically. So that's what they do. Now, on my end or on our end, what we really do to really reinforce learning and make sure that it's very much effective. So apart from the manuals that we give in to the people or the workbook, whatever, we have online courses. We call it computer-based training programs or the e-learning platforms that we use. We reinforce it with experiential learning. So experiential learning, we encourage student to student learning. So apart from them just doing the activities, we would ask them to group themselves, study, um, discuss with your coworkers, even without the need for a facilitator. That's what we do. If it's asynchronous, okay, so we let them do it as long as they'll be able to meet the requirements. And of course, we as learning development professionals would just be open in case they'll be needing help or support. All right. As for the wages, yeah. So I'm not saying na mukhang pera ang mga Gen Zs, no. But this is really part of that. We know how hard it is in the Philippines, especially, right? Because the prices, economically speaking, um, ang taas ng bilihin. 'Di ba? So this is the things that definitely we have to consider. Also me, also us millennials. I mean, it's definitely one of the biggest reasons why we grab an opportunity or a job offer, because they are giving good pay. But apart from that, there should be purpose as well. All right. So to share with you also from LinkedIn study, the top three reasons Gen Z cited for wanting to learn are, sorry. So number one is 62% is to improve at their job. Well, that's the purpose. I mean, the reason why learning and development is there, there's a department or a sub-department under HR called learning and development. It is to ensure that before someone handles a specific job or a specific task, they are ready. So that's the role of the L&D. But again, we are transitioning now to a different type of setup. So not just only we need to address the specific needs for a specific job, but now we also address other personal training needs of the employees. So if they need, like, they want to learn photography, sometimes we offer it for them, because learning and development is not only for what's this training the employees to be productive or to be good at what they do, but also learning and development is an engagement activity and a retention program that actually helps in keeping the people motivated and letting them stay in the company for a longer period, for a more longer period, because we can say they will stay with us forever. So we HR people should believe in that we can't what's this expect employees to stay with us forever, because we have all experienced the pandemic and we know that things can really happen. So it's actually a good kind of mindset. And same goes with you guys. So you can't just say, I'll be staying here forever, I'm safe here. It's not good that you're okay with that. Okay. Another one is to make more money. Like I've mentioned a while ago, so they want other activities happening in their lives apart from just work. Of course, they wanted to spend time with their family and friends, but also to acquire a new skill that will help them earn more money. And to share with you, there's a lot of jobs, freelancing jobs that can be done at home. Even accounting, the part of bookkeeping, there's a lot of them already, especially in the Philippines. And to share with you, um, US clients, they would prefer Filipinos, bookkeepers, to handle their work. rather getting from somewhere else. Same goes for the call center agents. I mean, they would outsource customer service agents from the Philippines rather from other places. So even this call center job, though they still have a base and office or regional office, but most of this actually can be done at home. And also during the pandemic, a lot of them were actually forced to work at home. And it was still effective. Right now, the reason why the BPO are still doing work from home because it's effective and it saves energy and time and money for the employer. The only reason why the others were forced back to the head office or head back to their quarters is because of the security. Because some are handling financial accounts, some are handling critical accounts. That's why they want security. But other than that, it can be done at home. There's a lot of skills. Same goes for training and development. Before we conduct our trainings, always face to face. We go to a certain place, whatnot. But right now, no, everything is online. Even my clients back in the Philippines, we do our training programs. It's all online. It's really all online. So there's a lot of skills that can be helpful for you to earn more money. And of course, 46%, I'm not so sure, okay, but I think there are some of you here who are doing part-time jobs. And I don't know if this one are also online or are freelancing that can be done just at home. And even online selling is very helpful. And then those who are engaged into, what's this? Um, yung mga nagbebenta ng mga damit online, RTWs, it's really effective. Okay, you're earning money, but of course, the skill there is, of course, your comp skills, how to sell. Another one is 46% to get promoted. Same goes. So when you join a company, you make sure you receive a good benefit package. But also, when you attend a training, there should be a reason why they're forcing you or they want you or they're requiring you to attend a certain training. They would say it's for your development. So from there, you would know that that it is going to be beneficial on your end. Okay, so 62% are saying Gen Zs that they're doing it or they want to learn to improve at their job. 59% is to make more money. Just imagine more than 50% wants to learn a new skill or something to to earn money. And 46% is to get promoted. Right. So moving forward, let's talk about stability. Though mentorship is already part of the learning and development, let me just touch on a little into mentorship. So for mentorship, like I've said, there should be a deeper purpose. Yes. And learning is continuous. We don't lose track if we have a mentor with us because it gives us direction. I mean, if there's a mentor, you know there's someone who will help you out with your future plans. Let's say you wanted to become a businessman, then your mentor should be a businessman. But in absence of a real mentor, an online training platform is our go-to mentor. What am I saying? If you have developmental programs, when I say developmental programs, it's not only programs for a specific job, it is a program for your future career. Let's say if you wanted to become a manager, there are programs like supervisory. Now you jump to self-leadership, coaching, and then you go up to advanced leadership, something like that. Okay, so these are ladderized programs or what you call developmental programs that will help people reach their future goals or future target. And it's similar with mentorship. And that's what these people or Gen Zs are looking at in an organization. And good thing, learning and development has started it already way back. But to share with you, there are a few who are just starting. But of course, you know this because there are still small organizations and they don't really invest much on that. They're more on the numbers to increase their numbers. But later on, they'll realize that the importance of learning and development in the organization because it has a lot of benefits. And definitely the last part would be the stability, which we call work-life balance. So Gen Z people, they would avoid stress. They would not dive into stress. Okay. Compare. I'm not judging. Okay. But there's a lot. in the organization, the older ones, when their supervisors or managers or immediate superiors would tell them like, "Oh, you have to do this." And then me, let's say I'm one of the older people in the organization, they would say, "Okay, I'll take it." Though I know that I'm quite busy, though I know that I have a lot on my plate, I will still try to squeeze it into my schedule. And then of course, this will create like creating own stress for them. But on our end, no. If you feel like we can't do it, if you feel like it will stress us out, we normally speak it out. We normally tell our superiors about it. And then we don't accept it if we can avoid it. Okay. But sometimes in the organization, also to share with you, you have to adjust to this also. Because you can't just say, no, I won't do that because it's going to give me stress. It's not like that. Okay. Because in an organization, you're there actually still to work. But the only thing is, there definitely would be stress. But the question there is, after the work schedule, are you given freedom to do your other tasks? Okay, they don't disturb you on your rest days. That's a good example. Or they have other activities that balances work and life. All right. So wants to have time with friends and family, would be more productive working in their own pace or timing. So this is really the goal of learning and development, to make the courses readily available online. But of course, we need to make it more interactive because the Gen Zs are so much used to technology. And if you just put the workbook or what's this manuals in an online platform, it's not gonna be that effective for them. They will find it really boring because they're so used to watching videos online, um, videos, audios, games. Okay, they're so much used to this. So they're expecting more in an organization. And if we really want to engage these Gen Zs, therefore we have to upskill and be more advanced when it comes to learning and development. If you really want to let this Gen Z stay with us, spend time in other purposeful activities that will help them grow personally and professionally. All right. So also to share with you, those that I've summarized is actually part of the study made by, I don't know how to pronounce it, Deloitte. I have a friend who's working there, but I never asked him how to pronounce the name of the company. He's actually now in UK, but he's also from the Philippines. He was sent by Deloitte to to work in the UK. So the study made just recently, 2022. There's no exact month, but it says 2022. So here are the reasons actually why Gen Zs, uh, I mean, reasons Gen Z consider when choosing an employer. So one is work-life balance. It has the biggest percentage. So it's actually 33%. The second one is digitally fluent or practical. So these are like learning and development opportunities slash or equal to their available time. Because as for Gen Z, they wanted to learn on their free time or self-paced learning. So 29%. And also still big factor to consider are the wages and the benefits. So there, so these three also, though it says here, this is what the Gen Z considers when choosing an employer, it is also linked to learning or learning and development. As students of HR, we don't just conduct trainings based from what we feel they need. We conduct trainings based from the TNA or the training needs analysis. It's very important. So in an organization, when you join an organization, you have to check into their training needs analysis, because from there you will see the behavior, the study of the generation. But mostly when you say TNA, it's generic. It's just more on identifying the specific competency that needs to be addressed, and then that's when you start creating training programs. But of course, part of that should be understanding the Gen Zs or the different generations, how they normally adapt in an organization and what are the things that they're used to that we as employers should adjust to as well. So, taking this in, the factors affecting learning, I'll be sharing with you what's currently happening in learning and development. Okay, when I say learning and development, this includes institutions and schools, but more specific for companies or workforce environment. So, for the new era of learning, of course, e-learning platforms, I would say, is a must for Gen Zs. Okay, though not all are into e-learning. What I mean, not all are into learning. Not all companies invest in e-learning platforms. First is there are still small companies, and incurring additional cost for e-learning platform would not be justifiable for them because right now their focus is different. And of course, you should also understand that in small organizations, there's no separate department for learning and development. Normally, there would only be one person in HR who handles everything as a generalist. But mostly, companies who are medium scaled or bigger, they really invest in e-learning platforms. One is they have a lot of employees, and it will actually save them when it comes to costs in training if they have an e-learning platform compared to these small companies. They really can't invest because it will incur big amount. But of course, if you have bigger employees, you can actually reduce the cost in training. It's so much better compared to conducting or facilitating trainings face to face. But also to share, there are training programs that still needs to be conducted face to face, especially the assessments, the evaluations. Normally, it has to be done face to face for technical skills, mostly technical skills, but all all of the soft skills actually can be conducted online. But some companies, they don't risk, especially if it's a critical skill. They would rather still do it face to face. I mean, yeah, face to face, but it's more on hybrid way of learning. Or when you say hybrid, it's more on blended learning. It's a combination of e-learning. It's a combination of student-to-student learning and face-to-face with the instructor or the trainer. It has to be mixed. The reason why they also want it to be mixed because it enhances or increases the engagement level and uh, shortens the training curve of a participant rather than just having a face-to-face classroom training. Okay, so it says here that 80% of companies and 50% of institutions, I'm referring to schools here, have used e-learning platforms. This have greatly increased for sure because this data actually is from last year. But of course, as you know, more and more companies and schools are getting into e-learning. Though face-to-face is allowed now again and are required by some schools, but they're still investing in e-learning platforms. Even preschools, even elementary, high school, they really invest on this. It's very helpful. But of course, if we're talking about kids, they should have a different way of learning. It should not be like the normal that we give in for the employees because we assume that the employees can easily understand what we're giving out to them. But for these kids, it really has to be detailed and very much engaging. So 28% of companies conduct their compliance training through online training. So there are required trainings. Like for every new employee, they do this training. Well, actually, some companies, they don't anymore conduct um, an onboarding training because everything is available online in their online platforms. But there are just things that, let's say, HR need, their signature, contract, and all. So it's still better for them to like go to HR and then accomplish these requirements if you're a new employee. But the training programs, even the required trainings can be done online. The only thing that learning and development should do is to assess, to check later on. Okay, so it's very nice. Like even during onboarding, you don't need to go to the office anymore. If it's very far from your place, you can definitely access it through the e-learning platform. But it only says here 28% of companies conduct their compliance training through online training. And one of the companies that I am also proud to share is Jollibee. Though we are in Qatar, we have a different owner here because it's a franchise group. We have one learning management system and e-learning platform. Though we only have what is a few access to the learning management system, but the e-learning platform is readily available for us also. We just need to create a username and password for the employees so no one can just access it for their security. And we are one of the 28%. Okay, and to share with you, some companies start with Moodle. Okay, if you'll be part of HR, if you'll be part of learning and development later on, if you join the workforce, and there's no available e-learning platform yet, you can actually explore Moodle. Moodle is actually a free platform that companies and schools are using. But of course, in terms of features, it's not that advanced. So you can just add videos, whatever. Yeah, videos you can, but it can't be that advanced compared to the rest. As compared to uh, Thinkific. So this one is a little advanced compared to the rest. So these are the platforms that we can actually maximize or make use. But other than this, there are also local or Filipino-based e-learning platforms that are really nice. So I also remembered way back, though I left during the implementation. So I wasn't really able to see the full implementation phase of the platform. But there are other e-learning platforms that we can actually maximize. Also, we transition to not just synchronous learning. So importantly, there should be asynchronous learning. So the training materials, yes, we reinforce it, or at least we can shorten the classroom training if there is an available asynchronous learning. So this help learners in learning in their own pace. So it enhances actually the learner's retention rate to 25% to 60% retention, unlike while having one-on-one tutoring, which has a retention rate of 8 to 10% only. So what it's saying here is, if you're doing face-to-face training, um, actually what they're saying is 25% only is absorbed by the employee. But if this is an online platform, asynchronous type of learning module. Therefore, people can go back to that and review. Okay, so it actually increases the retention rate for a specific course because it's readily available. So anytime I want to review, anytime I want to check, I can open it. Compared to I attended the training now, I don't remember what really happened. I only got the important things, but I forgot the rest of the explanation, right? So that's the good thing about asynchronous learning. The um, the videos can still be added. It's still effective. I would say video and face-to-face definitely is effective, and sometimes we still need that. But right now, even though without that, the face-to-face and there's asynchronous, learning will still be effective. Another one is the gamified learning. So this is where big companies invest some of their money on because they really believe in learning or learning and development. So 70% of global 2,000 companies use gamification in some ways because gamification or gamified learning can be from a simple one to a really advanced one. I have a friend, she was also in learning and development before, but she actually joined the academy. So she's now part of the school, and they created training courses by incorporating gamified learning. So in history, it's like a whole building with different rooms. It's like a game. I don't know if you're familiar with Zelda. Okay, so they just click the mouse and then click on a certain room. There's something that's saying like history of like this, like that. So it's easier, it's more fun, especially for kids, um preschool, kinder, elementary, this kind of learning is very much for them. I mean, this is really effective for them. But also for people like us, it still would be different if it is gamified. And as you can see, 70% of the 2,000 companies, though this one is 2,000 top companies, okay, are already using this. And it's not impossible for us in the Philippines to also practice this, though there are already some who are using it here. But later on, as we transition more in the coming years, definitely this will increase. Also, it says 72% of people say gamification motivates them to do tasks and work harder on the job. So it actually motivates the employees to do more. Why? Because they are confident enough that they have acquired the skill and the engagement level is really high. So what they're gonna do after the training, since they really enjoyed it, they would immediately apply it because the motivational level is very much up there. And I don't know if you guys have experienced gamified learning already in your life, but for those who have not yet, there are actually free companies who are offering this, and you can really experience a gamified learning for free. And other trainings for personal growth, like mentioned, these people, this generation, they they don't only attend trainings to be good at what they do at work, but they want again to earn money extra. So apart from now learning and development, the move really is to not only conduct trainings or facilitate trainings to help them become productive in the organization, but also provide trainings that will help them in their personal growth. So this engages and motivates employees as they learn new skills that are not only related to job. Well, to share with you my previous organization before joining my recent one, we actually explored or checked into LinkedIn Learning because we were actually offered by LinkedIn Learning um, an access to their platform wherein there's a lot, like 5,000 more courses readily available for the employees. But there's a certain amount. I'm not so sure how much. I think it's like 5,000 per employee per year. If you really have a budget for that, this is not a waste of money because there are companies who actually include in their budget 10,000 pesos per year per employee for their development. They have a budget for that. So LinkedIn Learning will provide you a lot of learning, okay, by attending a lot of courses for a very cheap price. Because normally, if you attend a training, a certification in the Philippines, you'll be attending a face-to-face training. It will cost you, I think, cheapest is 3,000. But if you go into LinkedIn Learning, the 5,000 will give you 5,000 more courses already, and you do it on your free time. Same goes for Udemy, Coursera, EDX, Skillshare. I am also a user of Udemy and Coursera, especially during my first years in HR when I was still learning. And even LinkedIn Learning, though, during the pandemic, I learned a lot. Though I'm already experienced, let's say, I'm experienced in learning development. But during the pandemic, on the onset of the pandemic, the first 3 months, um, of course, we have lesser schedule and all. I can't find an extra job because a lot of businesses are affected. So what I did is spend my time on learning new skills. And in LinkedIn Learning, I got a lot of learning for learning and development in HR. And it's something that up to now I'm still using. But right now I'm quite absent in Udemy and Coursera and LinkedIn Learning because I just transferred here like 7 months ago. So I was more focused on creating a system for learning and development rather learning for my own. But there's another course that I wanted to attend soon actually. It's the neuro-linguistic programming. So it can help me understand the behavior of people more, which can help us in learning and development. And the Skillshare, to share with you, I haven't tried this. Just recently, I discovered this because a friend of mine told me. I'm attending a course in Skillshare and it's free. And for EDX, I'm not so sure if it's free, but I know there are free courses here as well. So there are a lot of courses that can help you acquire a certain skill for free. And this takes definitely you can do. All right, so this is actually where I end. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for listening. And I think the last part would be for the question and answer.